Manic Monday, everybody. We are back. This man, Sammy the Man McIntyre, with Moving the Chains podcast. I hope we're rocking. I hope we're rolling, just like the Packers and Eagles doing it right now. We are doing fantastic. I hope you guys are doing well. Late night edition. I got the Packer-Eagle game, like I just mentioned off the top. We got that game going on. I want to dive into a couple other games. The Bills-Dolphins game, and the Patriots-Buccaneers. I want to go over the Falcons-Colts game, and then I want to dive into the Steelers-Chargers game last night, because that was a dud last night on primetime football. Yikes. But let me start with this. So, Falcons played the early morning game against the Colts yesterday. When I first watched that game, I started watching it, I went, uh-oh, this is going to be a problem. And they got Bijan rolling, and I was like, is this Buffalo game 2.0 for Atlanta? They're just clicking, they're rolling. And then it didn't look that way. And then the Colts kind of got their stride. Jonathan Taylor went Rambo. Shout out to him on my fantasy team. Get me 50 points yesterday. Woo! Getting that curls for the girls, baby. You already know. I'm feeling nicey today. Well, Jonathan Taylor made me feel nicey yesterday, because he was killing it yesterday. Running inside, running outside. He's the best back in football. There's no doubt about it. People ask me, did you know he was going to be great? Yeah, I'm a Wisconsin Badger fan. I mean, my grandma could see how much talent he had. It just was a matter of time. Does he have the right scheme, everything else? But I will say this with the Colts. It's starting to get a little weird with Daniel Jones. A little weird. A little weird with Daniel Jones. Okay? He's got 7 turnovers the last 2 games. I'm not going to put all that on him. This offensive line, Daniel Jones is more of a trailer than a truck. And I mean that, and I'll explain that. Trailers are guys that need to be carried by the team. They don't carry the team to a win. Doesn't matter what you put around them, they'll get you to the winner's circle. Trailers at quarterback are like Daniel Jones or Dak Prescott early on. That's what I feel Daniel Jones is. And that's fine. You can win games with that. And just as long as you keep the team afloat and get them rocking and get them rolling, I'm all for it. Okay? Daniel Jones, to me, the last couple weeks, I talked to a couple of people at the gym that are Colts fans. They're saying that I agree with this on that point. They're still going to win this division. They're kicking ass. They're going to take names. I don't trust anybody in the South right now. Titans are a shit show. Jacksonville, I can't trust them as far as I throw this table right now. They are pathetic. 29-10 lead, and you blow it. Ugh. The Davis Mills, mind you. That's pathetic. Houston, maybe, not really. So Colts got this division on wraps. And early on, I went, uh-oh. And Daniel Jones in New York with the Giants starting to rear its ugly head. But shout out to Shane Steichen. Shout out to the Colts. They're fantastic. I love everything about their team. Chris Ballard. Everybody's kicking ass. I want to see more from Sauce Gardner. It was the first game. Got beat on that little whip route by Drake London, who, by the way, is an absolute stud. But kind of knew that coming out of USC. But I will say, he's balling. And give Lou Anarumo and this defense, the chess master he is, time with Sauce Gardner, because he's going to get it right, and he's going to kick ass and take names. On the Atlanta side of things, I love Mike Penix. You guys know me. I'm a big fan of his. I saw him at the Combine. I thought he'd be a better version of Tua. He's kind of like a sniper. You get him off his spot a little bit, not as accurate. It's alarming right now. And, you know, my dad, and I told him this tonight, I said, I think Mike Penix is on the move. My dad goes, well, he's barely playing. I said, we don't have patience anymore. You know, he had 45 starts in college. That's more than enough. He's got toys down in Atlanta. Something's not working. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know what it is. He doesn't look comfortable. I mean, when I saw the number today, 1 of 18 on third downs, last 2 games, woof. It's like Home Alone. Buzz, your girlfriend, woof. I mean, it's bad. So you got to fix that in Atlanta. I don't know what you do. You know, you gave Kirk Cousins all this money. He's still there. It's still a weird situation. I don't know. Something's missing in Atlanta. And there's certain teams to me that just feel like off. And Atlanta, to me, is turning into like the Chargers of the NFC. I'm being dead serious. The talent's there. But just like, huh? They beat Buffalo. It's not adding up. But you never know in the NFL. It's any given Sunday. Anything can happen. But yeah, I just was shocked last night. Shocked yesterday morning that Atlanta had that game and they kind of pissed it down their leg. So they are the Chargers of the NFC. So I was going to touch on that game. So I want to touch on the Sunday night game. That's the next thing I want to dive into right quick. That was embarrassing last night. I'm going to start with Pittsburgh. I was driving around and, had my own 2 cents on it. I have nothing to say this morning. If I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm disgusted. Because you push your chips in the middle of the table for Aaron Rodgers, which I've been a fan of, and he can drive me nuts with some of the weird shit. However, the talent, I know, he's not what he was, okay? He's not what he was. He's not what he was 2021 when he's winning the MVP. Far from that, period. However, I'm not putting this all on Aaron Rodgers. I put some of this on the Steelers. They kind of made dumb moves. They gave DK Metcalf $150 million. He's not Terrell Owens. He's not Jerry Rice. Something's missing. And then, their offense is kind of weird. They can't run the football. I mean, I've been waiting for this for 5 years. They can't get it right. These defensive coaches, man. I'll get to Sean McDermott in Buffalo in a minute. I'm going to go off. But the Steelers, you're a physical football team. You're the biggest bully on the block. You know what the Chargers did to you last night? They sucker punched you and up in the jaw. And they beat your ass. So if I'm a Steeler fan and I'm in that locker room, I am pissed today. Because that is inexcusable. And I got to say this. It's time to get rid of Mike Tomlin. Time to move on. Time to go. It's time. I was calling for this like 3 years ago. He has not won a playoff game since I was in college. And that was 9 years ago. Something has to change. Come on, Pittsburgh. It's time to move on. He's been there. He's done that. Time to move on. And what you do with this team, I don't know. It's like I'm watching Moneyball, the movie. It's a bunch of old players that are products, and they're for name recognition, not the actual play. I mean, I love T.J. Watt. He's a Badger. I love him. And he's dominating. He's playing his butt off. But the rest of this team, come on. I mean, they put Jalen Ramsey at safety, and yeah, they had some. They didn't have as much explosive plays last night. I mean, that one to McConkey, that was an absolute rope by Herbert. I'll get into him in a minute. He's just phenomenal. But I'm watching Pittsburgh Steelers lose their way. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just embarrassing. This proud franchise. And all Steeler fans could say is, "Whoa, we sold out SoFi." So what? You got ramrodded. Like, come on. That's your product? You're perplexing. Like, I can't figure you out. You lose to Green Bay, you get beat by Seattle, and you lose. And you beat the Colts and you beat the Patriots, but you can't. It's not adding up. Some weeks they miss tackles and they don't know how to tackle on defense. Other weeks they do. They're a paradox. I can't figure them out. Almost every team in the NFL I figured out. Whether you're contender, pretender, fraud, or not. Pittsburgh Steelers, they're a fraud call. Like, I'm being serious. And I feel like I'm watching the same movie again with Pittsburgh. Remember last year? Oh, we're balling, man. Russell Wilson. Woo! Yeah. Oh, wait. I forgot something. Oh, that's right. Football continues from September to January. And once November hits, that weather gets cold. Yeah. Forgot about that part, Pittsburgh. And what happened down the stretch last year? Nosedived. And same thing right now. Nosedive. Again. And again. And I noticed this with these defensive coaches. The urgency meter needs to be at like a 10. It's at a 2 right now. And Pittsburgh's in trouble because, oh, by the way, the Ravens, oh, they won again yesterday. I'll get in that game tomorrow. Oh, they won again. Uh-oh. Baltimore might come back and beat you, Pittsburgh. What do you got to say about that, Mike Tomlin? Stop talking. Let's talk more, bro. Chop, chop. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. He feels like Tom Brady near the end. Last year in Tampa, I remember that. I'm still living in my old apartment. I remember that. Didn't want to get hit anymore. Got all this money. That's how I feel. So it's a crapshoot, and it's the same shit with Pittsburgh. Nothing's gonna change. Nothing. You know, it's just like it's the hamster wheel of annoying. That's what I call the Steelers. But I want to touch on the positive side of last night, and that is Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. That combo, I'm taking over Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers right now. Because that combo is going to get you to the playoffs and kick ass and do shit. And I'm watching this team right now. Jim Harbaugh, you could put anybody on his team. He's had Hall of Famers. He's had great players. Doesn't matter. I'm watching last night. He's doing this with backup guys, 6th offensive linemen. It doesn't matter. This team is built because of that guy. And I just marvel. I've said this. I think Dan Campbell, if you put all the Harbaugh brothers, if he was in the Harbaugh family, Dan Campbell fits. Tough, badass, former player, tough guy, always physical, puff chest out, quarterback confidant, makes your guy confident. I'm all for it, man. I'll throw Mike Vrabel in the ring, too. So, that was an absolute beatdown last night in SoFi. And the Chargers were the bigger bully last night than Pittsburgh. That's the takeaway I had from that game. Because, Chargers are coming. Yeah. Yeah, Denver, you got some competition now, bruh. Yeah, I'm taking Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, any day of the week. Justin Herbert over Bo. Not even close. Come on, man. You watched the talent last night. Herbert 6'6", 240. Yeah, with a rocket arm, 4.2 GPA. I'll take that. And Bo Nix is fine, solid, but all right. I like freak shows. I like specimens. And I like Herbert. Yeah. People bitching me. Well, Sammy's didn't win a playoff game. Oh, my God. Yeah, neither did Peyton Manning for his first 4 years, bruh. Yeah. He ran into some guy, I don't know, Tom Brady in his prime. And Big Ben. Herbert's having to do that with Josh Allen, Lamar, and Patrick. And Patrick in his own division, mind you. So, before we sell our Charger stock, they're 7-3 right now, and they're going to make another playoff run, which is shocking because 2 years ago, this was a train wreck, and it was awful. Brandon Staley might be one of the biggest frauds I've ever seen in my life. It's just, and to go from that to this, chef's kiss, phenomenal. It's like cinema. So, I am just so proud of the Chargers. They're going to the playoffs again. Can they win a playoff game? Believe me, I think they can. I made this claim last year. They're going to get a Super Bowl eventually in this Harbaugh-Herbert run. Because I really feel like their team's built for it. So, I was very impressed by the Chargers last night. It was an absolute clinic watching them just beat the shit out of Pittsburgh last night. That was fantastic. I feel bad for my buddy Blake Adams, who's a Steeler fan, but Pittsburgh's got a lot of issues, and I don't know if it's solvable. But I still think they're a playoff team, and I still think they'll do okay. But that was alarming last night, and what an absolute clinic by Jim Harbaugh, who's just born to coach. It was fantastic. Okay, so the last two games I want to touch on was we had Drake May against Faker, Moneymaker Mayfield in Tampa, Ybor City, kind of raining, kind of mucky. And then I want to touch on the Bills-Dolphins, but I want to start with that game. So that was the game I had intrigued on. All Sunday, my Raiders didn't play. Packers are playing right now as we speak. It's kind of a boring game. So we'll see how that goes. But I will say this with New England. To me, Mike Vrabel had to take over a dumpster fire. And I mean a dumpster fire. From the time they won that last Super Bowl against the Rams, and in 19 they were, they lost at home to Vrabel. They have been absolutely awful. And you could point it a ton of different directions. Was it Belichick getting his ego? Was it, I don't know what it was. But it was pathetic. And they were like the butt of the jokes. Okay? You were like becoming the Lions of the AFC. Like just kind of poking at you. But I will say this right now. This combination, Drake May, you have to get the coach and the quarterback right, and a good offensive coordinator. New England's got all three of those working in unison right now. It is fantastic. We can argue about the schedule all day. They're fourth place team, get the fourth place schedule. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is how you look on the field. And I will say this, New England, this is his worst team he's going to have. Because Ryan Williams, the receiver that they got from, or Kyle Williams, from Washington State, burner, he looked like a blimp. I was like, I saw him running up and went like this, and I saw him, and I went, oh, okay. Trayvon Henderson's a stud. I loved him coming out of Ohio State. So you have those two home run hitters. Drake May can run and can throw and got a pretty good deep ball. Him and Diggs got a good rapport. And Will Campbell looks like a badass. I loved him coming out. And now this defense looks better. They spent money and they look good. Sucks not having Spillane on, but besides the point. And I'm watching New England. Buffalo, your time of winning this division's over. New England's here. Guess who's back? Back again, New England. Because they are going to destroy. And I will take Vrabel over Sean McDermott right now. Not even a discussion at this point in time. I'm impressed. I mean, Mike Vrabel is just, he's like, if you put the Harbaugh brothers, Dan Campbell, and Mike Vrabel, they could all be a family. These dudes are all built the same. They're tough guys. They got the back of dip in, and, born in the U.S., NASCAR, brother. They're loving it. They're kicking ass. They're just tough guys, and they embody it. And they're just likable, and I could relate to them. And I feel that with all four of those guys, but Vrabel, this feels right, and I think it's going to stick. Because I think on that division, they're going to continue to keep doing what they're doing. They got all this draft capital, they got all this money. They're going to kill it. So New England's in a really, really good spot. Shocked that they're this good. Surprised we still beat them week 1. It feels like a while ago. But they have improved, and I am just so impressed with New England. On the Tampa side of things, listen, that first drive, I went, oh, yeah, Tampa, okay. This is why they've won the division 4 years in a row. I could see it. But then it flipped. And this team is depleted right now. Tampa Bay's going to be okay. This isn't man overboard with Tampa Bay. But they got to get healthy. This is an older football team. But they're still going to win the division by a landslide. I don't trust Atlanta as far as I can throw this table. Carolina's respectable, feisty, not there yet. And the Saints, I mean, I don't know. They're winning games, but they're kind of out of it. So I do think Tampa's going to be fine. They're going to be okay. Take a deep breath. New England's elite. They're a real team. Baker's going to be fine. Now he's played crappy last 2 games. I'm concerned for my guy. But I feel like the receiving court kind of goes through Mike Evans. And when he's not there, there's a difference. Mbuka's a stud, but he's only a rookie. He can only do so much. So, be a watch out for Tampa. New England, real football team, kick ass, take names. And I do love the fact that New England's just on an all-new level right now. And you should be happy if you're a Patriots fan. Last but not least, the game I want to touch on was the shocker of the day for me. Miami, 30. Buffalo, 13. That was embarrassing. And if I'm a Bill fan, I am ashamed this morning. That infuriates me. And I've been screaming this for 3 years now with Sean McDermott. Nothing against the guy. It's time, bruh. It's time to move on. Bye-bye. Godspeed. Hit the door. Bye-bye. It's over. You ruined it yesterday. You did not. Listen, you beat the Chiefs. I get that. You got up for the Chiefs. It's like a Super Bowl. I got it. You got full of yourselves. And that's a game you couldn't afford to lose. Yeah, it's a division rival and you've kicked Miami's ass. I got all that. But here's the problem. You can't afford to lose anymore. Because New England beat you already in your house, Sunday Night Football, and then, on top of that, they're 8-2. And you're 6-3. You cannot afford to lose a divisional game like that. You just can't. So, Buffalo right now, and we got to be honest about this, their roster's a little overrated. They got some players I like, James Cook, Josh Allen, Dawkins, and Oliver, but that's about it. It's not Green Bay. I'm watching Green Bay, got dudes everywhere. Philadelphia, Rams, Niners when they're healthy, pretty solid. Minnesota, they got some dudes. They're not in that ballpark. And I just feel like when I'm watching the Bills, why did it take them like a full offseason to get their crap together? I'm watching Andy Reid in season change the offensive line. I'm watching these offensive coaches. We got problems? Bang, fix it. Let's go. So you're wasting again Josh Allen's prime. And I'll say this, John Elway, who I put Josh Allen in that ballpark of gifted. Okay, he's gifted as hell. He had a good coach in Dan Reeves. RIP, by the way, died a few years ago. Really good coach. But eventually Denver said, time to move on. You did it, good things, time to go. I believe this to be true. They need to do that with Sean McDermott. Because John Elway was pretty good with Dan Reeves. He got better when he got Mike Shanahan and won 2 Super Bowls. Buffalo's got to do that same thing. Because until they do something different, it's going to be the same old thing over and over again. And it's sad because I love Josh Allen. But yesterday was a dud from him. That was an embarrassing loss yesterday by the Bills. That was embarrassing. I mean, Miami didn't have anything to lose. All my Dolphin fans, even Tim Brooks and the people at the gym are like, I want to lose more. I want a good draft pick. So I don't know. But I was happy. I mean, Miami won. It didn't do well in my picks. I'm 7-6 right now. Not great week, but besides the point. So I just, with Buffalo, and then, why are they just kind of weird? Why are you struggling on offense? You got James Cook, but now your receiving core, so it took you a long time to get the running game going. You got that going, okay, and now your receiving core sucks. Something's got to give. I don't get it. I think Buffalo, time to blow it up. Get rid of the coach tomorrow. It's embarrassing. Josh fucking Allen, and you can't get anywhere? Embarrassing. I'm ashamed right now. And for Miami, good win. You're playing hard for McDaniel. I thought it was really funny when he was trolling the Bills fans, doing his, puffing his McVape. I call him Mike McVape, okay? Puffing his vape, driving and, with the watch party. That was clown. That was funny. It's like Lane Kiffin troll level, okay? But my point is with Miami, just grind out these last couple games. Salvage some of your season. Keep Mike McDaniel. Bring a new GM in and get this thing on the right track. That's what I would do. So, lengthy pod tonight. I appreciate you guys. I'll give you guys a reaction to a couple more games that I forgot to hit today. Vikings, Ravens, I want to touch on that. And I got a couple other games I really want to hit on. Lions, Commanders, a couple other games. So, stay tuned throughout the week. I got a lot more content. I'll give you guys my reaction to Green Bay, Philadelphia, tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Adios. Love you guys. Godspeed.